What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be going over a great quarterback football IQ quiz to test your knowledge of the position. We're going to talk about how quarterbacks can read defenses, different play concepts that'll help quarterbacks make pre-snap reads, the work. So I hope this video helped you guys out. Hope it could teach you a few new things. But also, fellas, if you're a QB and would like to train with us this offseason, we're going to be coming out to 15 more states across the country for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver camps. So check out that very first link in the description below if you would like to train with us, fellas. We're going to be coming out to San Francisco. That camp is completely sold out, but then we'll be heading out to Miami, Las Vegas, Charlotte, Portland, Dallas, Nashville, Chicago, Buffalo, Atlanta, Houston, Philly, Detroit, Boise, and Los Angeles. So again, if you guys would like some more information, want to learn how you can sign up, check out that very first link in the description below. Let's get started with this video. So like I said, if you're not familiar with our quiz style videos, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a pre-snap look from a quarterback perspective. I'm going to go over the play concept, talk about different pre-snap reads, talk about coverages, and give you guys a chance to pause the video, think about your answer, and then we'll go over why your answer is right or wrong, okay? So first two things I want to talk about here, or first two questions, I guess I should say, is if you had a bench concept. So let's say we're going to be focused on the right side of the field here. A bench concept is where we have this slot receiver running a corner and this number one wide receiver running a 5-yard out. First question is, what defender is your read key? Something that a lot of quarterbacks think is that they are reading routes. Oh, my first read is the corner, or my first read is the 5-yard out. Guys, you are reading defenders. You have to trust that your receiver is going to be there. The defender dictates where we go with the ball. So who is the read key defender on this bench concept? And second part of the question, what coverage does this look like the defense is in? Okay, so read key defender and then coverage. So you guys can go ahead and pause the video and think about your answers. So pause the video. All right, let's break this thing down. So first things first, I want to try to start with the coverage, right? So the coverage sometimes can dictate who my read key defender might be. So obviously what we want to look at first, I would say as a quarterback when determining the coverage, is you want to try to look at the defensive front, because I think the defensive front helps you with the process of elimination. A lot of people will say, hey, look at the safeties first and then look at the corners, then look at the box. And I've been that guy before. I've done that when I played the quarterback position, at least in high school. It wasn't until college I started reading the box first. But in high school, I went from top down. In college, I started reading the box. I was going from bottom to up, and I saw a lot more success with that because it's a process of elimination. So I see that there's 4 down linemen, right? And then it looks like there are 3 linebackers here. This looks like the Mike linebacker. That looks like the Will. That looks like the Sam. So that tells me that there's 4 down linemen, right? 3 linebackers. That means that there's 7 people here inside the box. So that means process of elimination. It's probably a too high safety look, because think about it. You got 7 here, and then obviously you're going to have 2 corners. So that's 8, 9. And then obviously there's 11 guys on the field. So 10, 11, that would mean that's 2 high safeties. So this could be either cover 2, cover 4, cover 6, whatever the case may be. Now it's cover 2. If you guys said cover 2, you'd be correct. And it's not because the corners are walk down and press. It's because of how wide the safeties are. Something you guys need to understand, that defensive backs will flat out lie to you. They will show press and then they will bail into a cover 3, a cover 4. They will show like they're off, then they'll come down and press. They love to lie. Sometimes they can tell you, especially if you're a youth or high school quarterback watching this, if he's pressed up outside shade and this safety is very wide, then yeah, probably it's cover 2, right? Cover 2 is when these 2 safeties have the deep halves of the field. So what you can do to tell the difference between a cover 2 safety and a cover 4 safety is their stance and their width. So if they're really wide, like these 2 safeties are, and they have skinny feet, which essentially means like they're in a back pedal stance, they're not in a squatted stance like these linebackers, that means that they're probably going to be backpedaling to get the deep half of the field. Width, sometimes depth if they're deeper, if one safety is deeper than the other. And then obviously stance, right? So width, depth, and stance. That's why it's cover 2. Now, play concept. Let's talk about it. Corner, 5-yard out. You guys said we're reading this DB on the outside. That's correct. Now, this is why knowing the coverage is important. What can we anticipate about this coverage? Since it looks like cover 2, we can anticipate that this corner is probably going to drive on the 5-yard out, right? So we're probably going to be looking to throw this corner route over the top. This ball's got to be on a line. I can't float it because then the safety will make a play, and I can't be late to it. I can't look to the corner or look to the 5-yard out, reading the corner, see that he crashes down, go to the corner route and wait for him, especially because we were throwing this thing to the boundary, not to the field, which is tighter quarters. Now this QB ends up throwing a pick, and let's talk about why. So I'm going to play at full speed. Now he goes back, obviously, and what do we see? Eyes keyed in on the 5-yard out, Looks like it's cover two, but his eyes are getting right to this defender because remember, we are reading defenders as a quarterback. So again, he crashes down on the 5-yard out. As soon as we see his body language start to do this, we should be looking to throw the corner. Now, he ends up throwing this corner extremely late. Don't know why he threw it this late. I think this route maybe could have been a little bit better, like maybe a little bit more of a stem to the inside just because of where we were at on the field. But he throws this late. And Travis Hunter's able to just bait him into this throw and make this pick. Honestly, it's just a matter of him being late. It's not even the wrong read. We just got to understand that we have to, especially at this level, guys, especially when you're going up against a DB like Travis Hunter, who understands passing concepts because he plays offense. Guys, we got to throw that ball on time. So, fellas, we got to understand that's the passing concept. That's the coverage. It's important to know the coverage because it can tell us and help us anticipate certain throws and maybe throw this ball a little bit more on time. But fellas, and there's some mechanical issues as to why that quarterback was late. We're not going to get into that too much, but we got to be on time with our reads. And now I know, here's the thing. I know that seems like a lot to think about pre-snap. And I'm not saying that you guys should be thinking about all that pre-snap because fellas, we all know this. You don't have unlimited time. You got 40 seconds to call a play, right? So if you're coming up to the line and you're thinking about all that, you're wrong. You should be doing the pre-work. You should be watching film and going over these scenarios in your head over and over again. So when you come up into a game situation, it's freaking automatic. You could decide this thing in 5 seconds because I guarantee you everybody on UCLA's staff knew that Colorado was going to come out in a cover two look because that's a coverage. That's one of their top coverages. So they probably prepared for cover two. They know what their cover two looks like. So going into the game, they look for two key things. Maybe it's the safety's width, depth, stance, whatever it is. And they're like, okay, that's their cover two. So fellas, you have to do the pre-work. That's why we make these types of videos. Okay, so now, situation here. Let's talk about it. I want you guys to keep in mind this 3rd and 4. We're going to do the same type of coverage question, and we're going to do the same type of play concept question. So what coverage do you think this might be? I want you guys to understand that there is a corner out here, and then this is a safety. And I know you can't see the safety, but this safety is in a squatted stance, and the corner is obviously off, like outside shade. I know you can't see him. Trust me, I know you can't see him. But I'm going to tell you that right now. Squatted stance at about 8 to 10 yards, outside shade, and he's off maybe about 8 yards. And then I want you to pay attention to obviously this side of the field as well. So what coverage is this? Question number 1. Question number 2. Well, who would your read key be on this? We have a pivot route from the slot, and then we have a fade route from the outside wide receiver, a mandatory outside release fade route. Who would you guys be reading, and what's this coverage? So you guys can go ahead and pause the video and think about your answers. So pause the video. All right, let's break this thing down. So now, since we got a DB who's outside shade way off, since we got a safety who's lined up a little bit closer than this safety, you see how deep this safety is and you see how much closer this safety is, and we know we have a corner who's outside shade over here. This would be something called cover 6. Cover 6 is when one side of the field does cover 2, other side of the field does cover 4. 4 plus 2 is 6, right? So that's why they call it that. How do we determine that? How can we tell the difference? It's tough. But remember, sometimes the corners can tell us some things. And remember, we're starting with the front, right? We're starting with the defensive front. So right now, it looks like it's 4 down linemen. Okay, this looks like the Mike. That looks like the Will. That looks like the Sam. Process of elimination. It's a 2-high safety concept. One safety's lined up a little bit closer than the other. One safety's a little bit tighter than the other. This safety's outside the hash, skinny stance, and deeper. And this corner on the right side is in press. So it looks like we got 2 on this side. Looks more like 4 on this side. So I can make the determination, cover 6. Okay, so now, most important thing I want to talk about here is on this read. We cannot force the ball because of the down and distance. You guys still have to be true to your reads. So this receiver's running this whip. He's running a fade on the outside, right? You're reading the corner again. This corner, because it's cover 2, what do you know we probably don't have? The whip route, because it's going to the flats. Fade ball, we have it, but what type of ball do you have to throw on the fade ball? Is it a touch ball or on a line? It's on a line because you got a safety over the top and cover 2 who's screaming over to the deep half of the field because that is his zone. So watch what this quarterback does. Because it's 3rd and 4, he just stares down this whip route. Travis Hunter sees that. He knows the down and distance, obviously, because he's a smart DB. Picked off. Right there, it's picked. Every single time because we anticipated just because of the down and distance. We cannot force the ball because of the down and distance. Look how open this whole shot is. All he had to do was just look to the whip and then throw to this fade ball. all he had to do. But because he predetermines it on 3rd and 4, because we're trying to get the easy 4-yard completion, guys, we can't do that. You have to go through your coverage reads correctly. So I'm going to play this full speed one more time. Remember, guys, go through your coverage reads, trust the read, trust that you're reading defenders, and do not stare down wide receivers. All right, fellas, really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. Always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you would like to come out and train with us in 15 different states this offseason, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out. We're coming all the way from Miami, Florida to Houston, Philly, Los Angeles, all over the place, you guys. So very first link in that description below if you would like to train with us. I'll see you guys next time.